because the blood has been scrubbed.
Misa not press button is good. No, it's not that it was just scrubbed away. It was moved. Wah!
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the
To do a
murder
little
scene
trolling.
from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
They're doing a little trolling.
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body.
I really want like someone to be like, and what was the poster again? So Makoto can say the funny
By
thing
doing
again.
this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime?
True.
Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only
There's one that
allowed
is
for
bug-eyed.
access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get
There's a
into the
broken
boys'
wall.
locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gone to the boys' locker room somehow?
Obviously.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure there would have been no problem for her.
Taco's so smart.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had
Oh, no,
that,
no.
she could
Wasn't
get
it
into the
broken?
boys' locker room, no problem.
Yeah,
It was a
I was
broken
just
one.
trying to see what he was saying. Theoretically, if Chihiro was able to use Leon's handbook, she would be able to get in the boys' locker room. But when he finally used it, it was broken! Ah!
Is it really? Could Chihiro really?
She must have hacked. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have. No, I don't.
She used the thing.
Huh? I'm talking about.
Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong.
No, you're stupid!
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook,
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya is the one who did it, really? But still, I don't know what else I
Hold
could
on a
do.
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Wow, he's real easy to persuade.
For real?
Now
Like a
then,
child.
what is it going to show us? It better not
A very
be boring
creepy
or I'll
bear
be
child.
very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko to in the lead, and where she took us was...
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
Yeah, Missy.
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like
bro.
using our hands?
Stop.
Talking, dude.
Wait!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
Yeah, Taco has morals. See, Hifumi, that's what you should try to be. You should be more like Taco.
I think I see where this is going.
It's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's
This is
okay.
20 years
I
ago.
think Chihiro would rather
Did
have a
20
girl
years of
examine
bad.
her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her
Be
body.
sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but what? This is... What is this? What is
I
it?
know where this is
Not
going.
possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring widely at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
Oh boy. Yep, I knew it.
I
Haha.
see. So she
that's
was
how he got
actually
in.
a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact. What?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then
Choo choo.
it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Well, listen, pal. Listen, I
Oh,
get.
what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
This is pretty controversial.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
A cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Oh, well,
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
it's
And
so
now-
controversial.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting.
That it
Now
is
then,
Bakugan.
Let's resume the class trial.
Sir,
Bakugan
little.
wasn't even surprised
We've
at
all
all.
just learned that
Yeah,
the
oh yeah, true.
revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl.
Well, we don't know
but a
that.
boy.
To think that Chihiro is okay. Yeah, well, I thought it never
And
crossed
because
my
the victim was male,
mind.
he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
I mean,
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
Well, you can't say that.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the
By
motive for moving
Bakugan.
the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
Okay, jerk. Listen.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything
Don't like
has
that
been
word.
connected.
I don't like it either.
All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
No.
Without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't
Bum,
you
bum,
the one who
bum.
accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem
He's
like
an
it doesn't have
accomplice.
anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because
He's
he
not the
doesn't have
blackened, he's an
anything to do with it?
accomplice.
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again when...
Rattle me
the
bones!
guy.
Well, oh my
If
god.
you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you
Which is messed
fucking
up.
with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Ah,
I
man
find
of
it very
taste.
hard to believe.
Go ahead, find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then.
To bring out
If it wasn't
Genocide
me,
Jack, that's
who was
why.
it?
He wanted to
I
uncover
don't
that
think I
because
can
that was
say
what
for
he was
sure
looking
without
into
talking
before he
about
got
it a
put
little
into
more.
this place.
Yeah.
You're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with
Hero?
Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every
Hero's
possibility.
had a bit of a part
because
in
if
this,
we're wrong,
trying to
we all
get
die
you to go
here.
in certain direction.
That's true.
He's been wrong
Very well then. I'm with you
so
too.
far.
Damn
Yeah.
straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one person, or there's one thing that we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer is able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy. So the crime scene is the boys' locker room. You would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. That's still not enough. I need to find more clues. Make your argument! Celeste account.
Celeste account with the bags.
Yeah, it would be the bag scene.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yep, Celeste.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new.
It's so.
Oh, I did it again.
You want to know who saw the killer?
And only
Oh, wait, no, that's a lie. Celeste saw.
No, that's
So
wrong.
thank God I missed it, because that would have been wrong.
Celeste.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night.
You won't like Taco when he's angry.
I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much, enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Oh, what a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the
I forgot.
right?
Genocide
So we just
Jack
have
was
to
even
figure
there.
out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No, you already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back
I like
to
how
the
so
track
many
jacket
of them
and
know
duffel
who
bag
it
the
is
killer
and just
disposed of.
won't say it.
That's what I'm saying. Like they just want Makoto to figure everything out.
Yeah,
Focus on the
figure it
details
out.
of these items,
You have
and it
the
should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really have some clue about the killer? Somehow it's really hard to believe. Is one of them gonna slip up? Ooh. Curiosity.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Oh, how'd he know it was blue?
No, that's wrong.
Because Celeste never said so.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Oh, big brain.
What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. Then I assumed he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed
Paco
of by
trying
the
to
time we
defend
began our
him.
investigation.
Because they're
Isn't that
besties.
his friend? Yeah, it's
The only reason he
friend.
could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
I don't.
Cherry? Are you talking about
I'm
Chihiro?
starting to think Genocide
So, how
Jack's
about it? Did you see the
thing
tracksuit or
is
didn't you?
nicknames.
Nicknames, yeah, like garbage nicknames. Ew, why is her tongue swirling like that? Look at it. It's like a loop. It's disgusting.
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. Just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Yeah.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
How and why?
Why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Ruthless is messaging me about the tickets.
The way he talked?
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
So true.
Mondo,
At least it wasn't Taco.
was it really you?
That's all I'm saying.
Did you
If
really
he murdered Taco, I would have been
kill
devastated.
Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh my god,
Oh
Hifumi.
yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
Wow, Hifumi did something. You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to Chihiro? Yeah.
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping.
They're still going.
But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think
It's
the handbooks were
stupid
quite
friend
so
stealer who
fragile.
stole Taco.
Yeah, that's so true, dude.
You're right. They're not.
Kill him. Off with
They're
his head.
totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
By hitting its weak point.
You already told us
Duh.
before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession,
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Oh, wait. So it is Mondo, because Taka and Mondo went to the sauna.
Yeah.
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna. The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were
Mondo had
somehow
already been
pushed
in there.
directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
No. Taco, you learned too. One of your fake friends is a serial killer, okay? And the other one is me. So just say it.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the
Someone's
killer
gonna
must
try
have
and
been
murder someone
purposely
by putting
trying
them
to
in the
raise its
sauna.
temperature in order to break it.
meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out?
Bum, bum, bum.
Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
indeed.
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken,
It's
of
Mondo's.
course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.